Hello and welcome back to Gooner Gathering on this brilliant day, I think, for all Arsenal fans, as we talk about Arsenal's 6-0 shellacking, as I put it on Twitter, against RC Lons. My name is Posh Bertie, the poshest man in all of sports entertainment, and joining me, well, first up, we will have two guests, but he'll be there in a minute. First up, though, is one of our regulars on the channel. It's Spencer. How are you today, sir?
Doing excellent. The weather's a little cold here. It looked like it was cold at the game. But 6-0 victories, always a race and warm your heart. So we're very warm tonight.
Oh, absolutely. As the nights get colder, it's warm in our hearts. Don't worry about that. We will be having our founding father, Gunnar Meads, joining us very soon. He's just coming home from the pub watching the game. But of course, as you know, he's only got 1 foot. So it might be a bit more slower than normal to get to his house. But that's all right. Don't worry. He will be joining us soon. But yeah, AFC always says in the chat, says Lee is one happy guy because 29 scored yet again. Hey, we're all happy, my friend. And look in the background, in Spencer's background, there's a 29 shirt. Why on earth did you buy that?
There's a story behind that. There was a bet between me and Ryan from Mr. Arsenal podcast that we wouldn't sign Declan Rice, and I bought the 29 jersey because we signed him. So that is what it is, man. Yeah, it's only money.
Fair enough. But yeah, I see that's why you had the lights turned off there, because you wanted to see the 29 shirt. I thought you were like going to do some big like Undertaker entrance or something, the Spencer Taker or something like that. But
that was part of the reason. The other reason I didn't want to scare the people on the camera with my face, so I figured a more dark setting would make me a little.
You are a handsome chap, my friend. You don't worry about that whatsoever. All right, let's not dilly dally. Let's talk about our magnificent Champions League game. Of course, we needed 1 point to qualify for the last 16. If Sevilla beat PSV, it wouldn't have mattered what would have happened in the Lons game. We would have qualified anyway, but I believe PSV came from 2-0 down to win 3-2 in the last few seconds. But yeah, so that happened. So we needed a point minimum. Obviously, as I said on Twitter, that doesn't mean I'm playing for a draw or whatever. No. We wanted to win this game. And boy, did we do that. I'm seeing another person in the is it anyway, we'll let him. Goonally is here, but we'll let him sort his camera out. So yeah, what were your thoughts going into the game, Spencer? Did you expect a pummeling like this?
Not a pummeling. I expected a win. But I didn't expect a pummeling. I mean, because I remember the first game between us, it was more of who took advantage of the mistakes, right? And our 2 goals were basically, one was conceded off of a Raya turnover, if I'm not mistaken, to I think Tomiyasu, where the ball went a little wide. And then the second one was just kind of one of these, we didn't pick up the defender in the box, and it was a tap-in type deal. So I kind of expected more of a 2-0 win, to be honest with you. I expected Lions to have a little bit more pulse, considering what we saw the first game. But luckily, I mean, this is something to really bring up. We hadn't scored a goal in the first 15 minutes of a game this year, and then we finally did it in this game, and then we scored, I think, 4 in 30 minutes, which was, I mean, once you start beating a team in a submission like that, I mean, it was just an impressive first half. Second half a little drolly, but a massive 5-0 win, a 6-0 win, I didn't expect that. So
it was a submission win. They tapped out in a squash match. And as we can see in the top right corner, Gooner Gathering's founding father, fashionably late, he is joining us today.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing very well. I can't move as quick as I thought I could.
Oh, don't worry about it. I feel a bit left out here because I'm not wearing red. So I'm going to put the... Even though it's November, we are approaching December anyway, so I'm going to...
Oh, happy holidays are here again.
There you go. Merry Christmas, everyone. I don't know if you can see. There you go. It's got the Arsenal badge on it. So there we are. And of course, I'll put it on to celebrate our magnificent win. Yes, I will buy a Goalazzo hoodie very, very soon. Don't you worry about that.
Like goalazzo.com.
By the way, AFC Always in the chat says Lee is one guy because 29 scored again.
And we have a run-in. We have a run-in. Making a Gooner Gathering on screen speaking debut.
What?
Thank you very much, Mrs. M. Say hello to Anna, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. She's shy. So, right, okay. Right. So, yeah, I don't want to say I predicted it was going to happen, but told you, didn't I? Told you on Monday, didn't I? It's all about the momentum. It's all about the long-term story time. It's all about Kai getting a bit of confidence. I'd seen it. Let me just lose my arm. I don't need that tonight. You could see it in past performances anyway. I certainly did. My illustrious colleague might not have done. But do you know what? He's turned into a goal machine, everybody. It's 3 goals in 4 games for him.
See my heading. See my subheading.
Yeah. It's
funny. A goal machine.
It's funny you mention that, Lee, because I think especially Saturday. So I did a watch along with DWTT and Gary and those over there. And you can see like everything was kind of like stagnant. No one was making any creative runs. And the minute Havertz came on, he just started making those runs, and it kind of opened everything up. And to me, like, I know we've had our differences on Havertz, and we've had good discussions on that and everything. And there's no doubt in my mind that all 3 of us want him to work out. Now, I want Eddie and Kedia to now kick on and start scoring some goals too. Let's make that happen so I can be wrong about Eddie. But, you know, it's about the confidence, man. Like, he looked like a broken dog. That's what he looked in the first. He looked kind of scared to kick the ball. Now he's making runs, looks confident. He made a couple good tackles tonight where he stopped some momentum from them. I mean, may it continue, man, because we're going to need him if we're going to win this championship. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to be needed. So he's available. He's healthy. You know, he's necessary.
We kind of spoke about a plan B kind of option, didn't we, Posh, the other day, where in a game like Saturday. I don't want to dwell too much on Saturday because we want to talk about tonight. But in a game like that where it got very, very tight, there was not a lot of space. We've got another option on the field, and Kai, with his aerial ability and all the that height advantage he does have, he goes and does the thing and puts the ball behind the goalkeeper. Mr. Tom, good evening to you. And we won 6-0.
We did all right. I mean, I'm not wearing this Christmas hat for nothing. I'm going to take this off now because we're getting a bit more serious now. But yeah, all right, Arsenal did all right, I think. We did all right.
Been a pretty good night.
BX for life is in the chat. Come on, you Gunners.
Good to see you, mate.
Performance.
And before we get going, just I want 100 likes tonight. I want 100 views. Big up to Luca. Hello. I really had a good time. I had a good time on his stream the other day.
Can I just say, Lee, your volume is a little bit loud on your audio. You might want to turn your volume down a teeny weeny little bit.
See what I can do, mate.
There you go. That's fine. That's good.
Better?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Sorry, headphone users. But big up to Luca, who had me as a guest on his show yesterday, as we were trying to fill for time because Mikel Arteta was late. So, how far had you got in, Posh? Have you started talking about goals, etc.?
Well, I just spoke to Spencer about what did he expect in the game. He said he expected a win, but not as Lord Alfred Hayes would say, quite the shellacking as we took today. What about you, Mr. Meadows? Were you positive Pete all over again? Expected a 6-0 win?
You know me. I was confident enough to say, look, we'll like a 3-0 or something. I didn't see us sort of going to 6, but it was great to see and seeing. Let's talk about it in chronologically. I nearly said it right as well. Critique the action as it went, shall we? Let's go from Kai's goal, shall we? And it had to happen as well, didn't it? After the drama of Saturday, 7 minutes on the clock, a bit of a cross coming in. Here we go. Took the lead. Tomiyasu's cross not cleared. And very similar, actually, to the offside goal in the that Trossard had on Saturday, where Jesus involved in the play with the header, and Kai doing what, and I'm kind of half joking, half not. What the natural goal scorers do? They just get a foot on a ball. See, Spence can't take it; it's gone. Just get his foot on the ball and divert it past the goalkeeper. Again, it's a crucial goal for him, because if we hadn't got an early lead, the game may have played a different way.
No, absolutely. And listen, I think he was even though he played centre midfielder, he was in a striker's position when he scored. And this is why I think, if you do want to play Kai Havertz, his best position is probably up front, which I've said again, though he's not my first choice on the team sheet, as I've said. When he's up front, he can provide a quite a decent goal, and he did. It was it was an easy goal to score. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not taking that away from him. 2-2 for Kai Havertz. Yeah, absolutely. Let me just go through the comments.
Yes.
AFC always Arsenal, the first English team ever to lead by 5 goals at half-time in a Champions League game. We almost broke our all-time record, which was 7-0 against Slavia Prague.
Yes, indeed. Good stat by an illustrious colleague on the bottom row there. Appreciated your work there, mate.
Mr. Tom says, big up Spencer, or as we call him on the streets, Big Spency style. There we are. BX Gunner says, what a performance, and happy to be enjoying Tuesday, Wednesday night footy while in the actual competition. That's all well and good, but I want to, as I said before, I didn't wait 7 years for us to crash out the group stage, and we're not going to be doing that because we're through to the last 16.
Won the group.
Let's see how well we do in knockout football, because it is a different ball game, which is what AFC always is making here.
Right. I am going to have to go back at Mr. Ross. AFC always here. And we've got a lot of love for you in the channel, as you know. Look, yeah, the real test, you're right in this bit, right? This is where the real fun starts, right? This is not quite football. Anything can happen. Anything. So bear in mind that we're actually playing pretty good, and our home form's been all right, and we have only lost 1 game in the whole season. Apart from the cup competition. Yeah, okay, fair enough. No, I'll accept that.
Yeah.
1 game in the Premier League season. I'll retract my statement. It is 2 defeats. Yes, you're absolutely right. But I don't see any reason why to be negative. And
it's the history, I think. You know what I mean? Like, it's the tumor signs being knocked out. It's almost like some people expect it to happen until it doesn't happen, right?
What's been going on the past few years and everything.
I mean, is it fair? No.
Arsenal.
I mean, but my thing with the next round, and I know like we shouldn't be enjoying that, I'm not worried about the next round, but it's all about the draw too, right? If you win your group, you should get yourself an easier opponent potentially in group, from the second place winners. But it's all about the draw, and who's got and really it comes down to who's got injuries too when you play that. So, I mean, if we drew Madrid, which obviously wasn't going to happen in the first round because we're both going to be group winners, but if that happened, I probably wouldn't fancy us against Madrid right now. I don't know. I mean, but you got to play the games, baby. That's really what it comes down to, playing the games. So,
no, absolutely.
AFC. I'm looking for. I saw a comment that there we go. That's the one I was looking for. Arteta ruined the fun by not bringing the kids on.
I would have I mean, I didn't expect to see the kids playing the game. I would have we were winning 5-0 in the 80th minute. I would have quite liked to see one of them come on. I would have quite liked to see Nwaneri on. And can you imagine if he took the penalty? Can you imagine if he took the
Oh,
penalty?
we're in fantasy football land, lad. Listen,
Manager.
what did I say to you? What did I say to you in regards to the goalkeeping situation the other day? It counts here. And it's there's no place for sentimentality here. It would have been fantastic. Yeah, wonderful. This is still a professional game of football, lads. And he kept Saka on. He got a knock. We don't have to wrap him up in Cornwall. We took him off.
He got taken off. He got taken off early today, which is a very good decision.
And the decision to bring Nelson on, who's also a squad player, is not, stressed out at school today. He's actually, been allowed to go up there and stay up late because he's a big boy. You can't look. As much as we know a bit about these guys' names, and we've seen Ethan Nawari and we've seen Skelly and everything. Look, we can't expect him to play. Look, they might make an appearance in the cup, perhaps, but again, we go and field the kids in a competition, right? Say it all goes wrong. What's going to happen?
Yeah,
you're all going to go out. He shouldn't have played the kids.
But I think the argument is, look, it was the last 10 minutes. We were 5-0 up. It would have to be the most humiliating collapse in the history of football for us to lose 6-5 in the last 10 minutes. It was a suggestion.
We're not even talking like this. Come on. What are you doing?
I wouldn't say it's an option. Anyway,
I'll say this much. Can I go in?
Yeah,
so I would say if we did bring the kids on and we lost the 6-0 lead, then we deserve to lose. It is what it is, right? You just if you blow that big of a lead, then I think I probably would have taken Sack off at halftime, but he still got his rest. I will say that they allowed him to get kicked up all night. The refs do. He does not get protected by the refs like some of the other players do, but the kids will get their chance. And I think we'll have a discussion maybe later, Lee and Posh, about the January window and why I think the kids are going to be very important to our long run. But we'll get into that at a later time.
Yeah, we'll do that another day because I want this to be a sort of almost sharp kind of match reaction because it's very late here in the UK, and I've been up an awful long time already. Sorry, mate.
The chat's on fire today, a bit like Arsenal's performance. I'm just going to quick fire them. We found your burner account, Lee. Eddie Nketiah has to be a contender for man of the match. What a guy. He only came on for how many minutes? 5 minutes?
Yeah, that's why I was late. I had to write that comment. So
excellent. Ellie Goulding settings. Anything can happen. Yep. Very good, AFC always. BX says, we have some real quality. I'm not counting us out of anything. Yeah, exactly. Never say never in football and anything. There you go. AFC always mention Ellie Goulding song. I've just mentioned a bloody Justin Bieber song. So there you go. AFC always says the reason is we haven't got the manager to win us a major trophy. We'll have to wait and see. We started strong and finished the game.
Oh my God. Oh, no, don't breeze over that. No. We are not doing that. We haven't got the manager to win us a major trophy. Remind me what the score was today. Remind me where we are in the Premier League today.
Okay, but it's not Real Madrid though, isn't it?
I never said it was Real Madrid.
I know.
We beat who's in front of us.
The season's not over. The season's not over yet. We don't know what's going to happen. Who knows? We might shock the world like the Shockmaster and win it. Who knows? We might crash out the last 16. Again, as it says here, anything can happen in football. But I'm just happy that we got a fantastic result.
Well, that's what anyway. I thought. I thought we'd have a nice positive chat today. What did you say to him?
I didn't say anything to him.
I didn't say anything. By the way, did you celebrate 29 scoring again? I did. I quite liked it. Hopefully he continues it. What do you think?
Well, go to Spencer first because he's put it in the chat.
Did I celebrate Havertz scoring? Absolutely, I did. I mean, but I celebrated all 5 goals tonight. Like I enjoy. That's why I watch football. I watch it for the passion, for the love. I mean, I let me tell you something. I'll make this statement real clear here, and this is, if I have an opinion that's negative about an Arsenal player, I want to be proven wrong by that player. I'm not the biggest Eddie Nketiah fan. I want him to go out there and score 20 goals and prove me wrong and make me look stupid. All right, that's what I'm okay with being wrong. I'm a human. I'm not one of these YouTube guys that can't have an opinion and has to be right all the time. I just enjoy it, guys. I mean, I said this Saturday because, everybody was like, "Oh, the game was bad." Yeah, but we found a way to win, and that's what championship teams do. They find a way to get through these moments and win. And we're not kicking on like we should be, but we've conceded 10 goals in the league, which is less than anybody else out here right now. And we scored, I think, a couple less in the league than we did last year. We just look a little more controlled. It doesn't look the same, but the results are the same. So, and then you just smashed somebody in the Champions League 6-0 and went through the group stage with 1 game left. You're going to get to play the kids next week or when we do the PSV game. It's going to happen. And I understand the whole sentiment of Arteta hasn't won a major trophy. I get it.
He has.
Well, okay, yes, FA Cup is a major trophy. I'm reading the comment. But
I know what the argument's going to be. You will say, "Oh, but it was with a completely different squad than what we had now, and it was in the season when Unai Emery was in charge." I get that. However, Arteta was in the dugout for the entirety of that competition, not Emery.
But then my counterpoint is then you can't count that season against him for his time. You say he's only had 3.5 years. You can't say he's had 4 years. Well, if you're not going to give him credit, then you can't give him the criticism for that year too. It's all Emery's fault, whatever happened in the season we won the FA Cup. It sounds silly to say out loud, but that's the argument. So, I mean, it is what it is. So, I'm sorry, BX. I'm wrong. It's okay.
Good evening to Sam Wilson as well, was in the chat as well.
Mr. Wilson.
Absolutely.
Yes,
good
indeed.
to see you, Sam.
The Arsenal strength and conditioning coach, I understand.
Oh, yeah. Now that we've mentioned Havertz's goal, very good to see the goal machine scoring. But then in quick succession, Gabriel Jesus gets a goal, making his not his return, but his Champions League return, I should say. And yeah, we were 2-0 up. Decent finish from him. What did you make of it?
Oh, it's beautiful, man. I'm trying to visualize it back in my head because but the moves he did. I think I read a stat somewhere where he's got 15 goals in 20 Champions League matches. I think I read that somewhere. So, I mean, and I actually was asked this week if it was smart to pay $55 million for Jesus when he was 6 months, when he had 6 months left before he was to be available for free. And I said, absolutely, because he got you back in the Champions League, which was one of the major goals. Yeah, you didn't win the league or win the trophy, but look at where you are. I mean, Jesus, I still think he's a winger, but he can still play the 9. I mean, what a goal by him, man. And he said he was man of the match, too, tonight as well.
I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that.
I mean,
I'd also say that this goal, I think, for me, was goal of the game. The run by Saka and the finish from Jesus was wonderful. What a great positive start for the game.
I like the Martinelli goal.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I think that's the next one, isn't it?
Beautiful goals.
No, yeah. Saka, lovely tapping as well. Quick succession to make it 3-0. But yeah, we'll talk about the Martinelli one. That was sublime. We were 4-0 up at half time. You rarely see that, don't you? Lee, I'll come to you first. That Martinelli goal, that was an absolute peach, wasn't it?
Do you know, it's difficult to sort of go... Because I'm normally so prepared and I always have notes in front of me. It's almost kind of difficult to remember everything. But yeah, if I recall, it wasn't Martinelli on that left-hand side and he really he sort of cut inside with the finish. It was nice to see us putting some chances away and maybe restoring a little bit of that free-flowing football that we'd been missing a little bit. And we might not have seen much of it since, and actually maybe one game this season. also in Champions League against PSV.
Yeah, I don't think we've been that wide open in attack. I don't think we've been that quick on our attack all year, to be fair. I feel like we've been very slow in the build-up play this year, maintaining control, I think, but it was definitely wide open.
Our best performances have come in the Champions League, especially in home games.
Mm. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 5-0 at halftime, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Because Ødegaard scored just before
that was a great goal as well. Love was a volley, wasn't it? First
it
touch.
Was.
Boom,
Yes.
After Tomiyasu's cross, I think.
Yeah, and AFC always says Tomiyasu this season with 2 fire emojis. Couldn't agree more. He has stepped up massively this season.
We mentioned this on Monday, mate, didn't we? We said how impressed we were about his defensive play in general. I mentioned how impressed I am with him playing left back when he's done there. But he was playing right back today. He was supporting the play, and got his rewards for that today.
No, absolutely. Sam Wilson says, I'm going to go. Let's hope 29 keeps scoring now. Good night. Yeah, see you, Sam. I hope he keeps scoring too. AFC always says, the way I'm going on, I'll be the most hated Arsenal supporter ever. You are much loved on this channel, my friend. Yep. Don't you worry about that. And there are Arsenal fans that are much worse than you, sir. Don't worry about that. But you're not the most hated Arsenal fan. We love you here.
Absolutely, yes. It's always fun having go back and forth as well. Sorry, Spencer, I spoke over you. Go on, mate.
No, I was just going to agree with Posh. Like, he's not even near it. I enjoy the conversation and entitled to your opinion, and we may disagree, but I still enjoy it, man. Let's keep it moving, man. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. It's all good fun, isn't it?
Yeah, this isn't an echo chamber, so.
It's an echo chamber. Carry on the joke, Posh.
I mean, what wasn't a joke was our blistering performance against Lons there. So, yeah, 5-0 up, 5 different scorers as well. I think it's fair to say the second half was a bit more laid back. I mean, we didn't have to do much, don't we? I know, being a little nitpicker that I am, it would have been nice to get the record, to eclipse our 7-0 win over Slavia Prague. But I'm happy with what went on. We didn't have to do much in the second half. We had the game, even by our standards, even by Arsenal standards, we had the game wrapped up. Don't you agree, Spencer? The second half was a bit more, let's just kick the ball around.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, and to be honest, I think you could have made all 5 subs at halftime and still won 6-0. That's just my opinion, but you can't make all your subs at halftime because you got to keep them in your pocket. But, yeah, I was looking over the heat maps here a little bit. Havertz played in the 8th position, a little up top at times. Ødegaard on the right side of the pitch a little bit. I mean, there's so much free flowing with our movement. It's hard to really tie down people's to actual positions. You get them in areas, and like Jesus was pretty much all over the pitch today. Martinelli the same way. Yeah, I mean, the second half was definitely a little, I'm just glad no one got hurt. That's at the end of the day, once you're already up by that much, just get out of there, be healthy, go on to the next game. Big one against Wolves this weekend. Enjoy this one tonight. The boys have earned it. 12 points out of 5 games, avenging a 2-1 defeat on the road to that. And that's why I thought they were going to be tough, because of the way they played in the first game. So
I'm going to ask a question. So we made the 2 substitutions at halftime. Tomiyasu and Zinchenko were hooked for Kivior and Benjamin White. So the fears I think a lot of us had that Ben had picked up a bit more of another knock. There was initial reports that he was missing from training, but I think he was doing some strength and conditioning work, and he got another 45 minutes. So he's got some minutes on his return again. Would you have made? So you said you might have made some more changes. That I'm thinking, obviously, the likes of Saka, who did have a a big challenge on him in the first half, but it was more of an impact kind of challenge. One he sort of run off quite quickly. I saw in a lot of groups that I'm in, oh, take him off. Get him off immediately. If he doesn't come off or take him off, I'll be very upset. What did you think about Saka?
And he did come off.
I think what he's saying, because I saw a couple people saying, "I'll take him off at halftime. You're already up 3-0." And I do kind of agree with Lee. You can't baby him, but he does. Like 60 minutes was good enough for tonight. Yeah. Like I think that was pretty fair, even if you were only up 2-0, right? So that's where I'm kind of like, I understand bringing on the fullbacks because the amount of and I can't seem to find the distance ran during the game, but traditionally, like these fullbacks and the style we've been demanding them play with the overlaps and all that stuff, they do tend to run a lot of kilometers during the match. So I understand that substitution. Rice I thought would have bring it off a little earlier, but the people I thought he should sub, he subbed. He just did it at times I probably wouldn't have done it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
And Kivior, of course, needed some minutes. It was great for him to get 45. So just say that we do need him somewhere along the line. He isn't going to be rusty. He's had 45 minutes here. That some of the rotation players have been getting minutes. Jorginho's had a lot of minutes recently in the place of Ødegaard, of course. And obviously Nketiah was one that missed out today, but he's had lots of minutes prior to that. So the time, I think it's much interesting. Cut to that in a minute. It's an interesting one where the amount of rotation that goes on in the squad has been much more evident, I would say, than perhaps last season. Comment BX.
BX said Jesus looked in slight discomfort after the match. I forgot about it. I did see that actually. He was limping a little bit. It wasn't like nothing. You
should have said me.
I know he was doing a Lee Meadows impression. He was limping a little bit, but
was he late to the game and he had to go on an e-scooter?
Not that I know of. No, but it didn't. Jesus' injury anyway didn't look anything serious. Hopefully, he'll be fine.
I hope so. Because we fully for Jesus is a threat in any competition, and I think there was a stat about Jesus' goals a little bit up in the chat there in the Champions League. He's got a phenomenal record.
24 goals.
There we go. 24 in the Champions League. That's with us and of course at Manchester City. So yeah, terrific player, and one I'd probably give a night off against PSV for, but because we have won so significantly as well. And players like Jesus who do seem to be a little bit injury prone, and when he gets them, he's out for a long time. This is that sort of game. Maybe the Deadwood game, if you want, is perhaps the one where I might be looking at some of the other, rotation players, perhaps a bit more of a starting role in that one, perhaps.
And it doesn't matter if we lose or not because we're guaranteed top spot in the group. So I do think we will probably, if Arteta is going to be sensible, which I hope he would be, we'd be having a bit of a rotated squad, perhaps one Aaron Ramsdale in goal, maybe. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose, look, it'll be nice for him. It'll be a nice moment for him if it happens. But let's cross that bridge when we come to it, shall we? I think we've got one more goal to talk about for tonight, and that was Jorginho's penalty. A couple of things I want to ask about. Did you think it was a penalty? It was one that went to VAR. It was a handball decision going to VAR. How about that? Never seen that before.
Yeah, it was originally a potential foul in the box before it became a handball. I mean, it did look a bit... I don't know. It was a handball. Whether it was deliberate or not, I don't know. But
doesn't seem to matter, apparently.
Yeah.
Just ask Newcastle.
Havertz off the knee, avoided handball. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
That was earlier.
Yeah, there was a potential VAR check for Lons, wasn't there, over a potential penalty?
That's true.
But that was ruled out
First game.
quite in quick succession, really.
Without going to the screen as well, by the way.
Yeah.
So it was. Well,
But
that was
this
one of
one-
them VAR decisions that were quick to deal with, and that's what we want to see. We don't want to see these going unnecessarily long.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm glad that the VAR decisions were correct in this game because, we'll cross that bridge later on. But
Yeah.
I think this time it was Jorginho who took the penalty, and he ended up scoring it 6-0 to the Arsenal, as the fans were chanting. Nice penalty. Spencer, what do you think?
A good penalty. I was wondering, like, because Odegaard and him were standing there together. I was wondering if Odegaard was going to take it, and he gave it up. I was just wondering if people were going to be like, "Oh, the captain gave the penalty up. He should have taken it." Nah, you're up 5-0. Like, let Jorginho take it. I mean, I guess like if you'd have had one of the kids on there, I think you probably could have done that, or someone that needed one goal. I was thinking about who would need a goal in the squad, but who was on at that time.
David Raya.
I mean,
I knew you were going to do that.
do that, and I mean, you could, but if you do that, like, I think the one I was potentially thinking about was Eddie Nketiah taking it because he was already on the pitch. Give him a shot at it. I mean, not that he's a guy you're going to look at for penalties, but he's a striker that probably needs a goal, and it's a confidence booster. But that's hindsight's 2020. So,
I mean, I'd imagine a game where Havertz and Nketiah both score in the same game.
happened.
The thing I've got to add on this one is Jorginho missed his last one for Italy.
Yeah.
And I thought Odegaard should have probably taken it myself, but whatever's. When Jorginho joined, and it's on record, I'm not a fan of this hop, skip, and the jump routine. I hate it. It's not my jam at all. Just blast it hard and into a corner is my preferred way. But it's good, so you can't complain.
No, and I do quite like the idea of us having more than one penalty taker as opposed to having one outright penalty taker taking every one. Because if let's say in the Champions League or in the FA Cup, we get a penalty shootout. We've got experienced people that have taken penalties before. So that might work in our favor a little bit.
So I'll go to pivot to that, and if I'm mistaken, I do not remember, but I know they did them in New York. The penalties on the preseason tour, they were down, they were down 2-0, and everybody's like, "Why are you doing penalties for moments like this?" And that's what preseason's for. It's all for training. It's not about who wins or loses. And I think they did them at the MLS All-Star game. I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong, but I know they did them a couple times. They did them at the
Emirates Cup.
Yes, Emirates Cup. So they did do them at the MLS All-Star game, but they did them at the Emirates Cup. So it's just opportunities, and of course the FA the Community Shield went to that. So that's more experience, and against a big rival in Man City. So there's a lot of things that doing that stuff in the preseason under pressure moments, whether how small they are compared to the Champions League, it still creates this rhythm and this repetition and this, I've been here and I've done this, let's do this. So
yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? We had Saka, Odegaard, Havertz,
Fabio Vieira.
Fabio, of course, had mixed luck in it. I think the last one he took, actually, he missed it in the kids' cup competition, whatever it's called, when he was suspended for the Premier League. You might not be familiar with that.
Yeah, I remember he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, I'm a professional broadcast posh.
I remember people tried to meme it afterwards. So
well, of course they did. Of course they did. But yeah, you're right. It's handy for having plenty of players who are willing to step up and go and join the lottery of a penalty competition. So it's nice to have people confident to do so as well. So, and we go onwards and upwards. Really, pretty much a standard kind of easy night's work at a very cold Emirates Stadium this evening. Arsenal winning the group. So we have got a dead rubber, as it were, against PSV in Holland coming up. That's as a result
friendly, as I like to call it.
Kind of. And this is because what was the other result? It was 3-2, wasn't it? The other game.
PSV. They came from 2-0 down in last seconds of the game, really.
Oh, okay, well, fantastic. But and red cards galore as well, by the way, in the game. Sevilla down to 9 right at the end of the game. I didn't know that until just now.
Yeah.
So so we move on. How far on do we want to go on tonight? Because I think we've covered the match that we wanted to do. It is very late. I kind of thought maybe we'd do something talking more about the other stuff that, is to talk about perhaps on Friday, because I have a free day on Friday. I'm not going to Tesco Towers because I'm having a day off and enjoying my birthday. But I would be very happy to join us all over here. And
for a birthday stream?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. I'd be up for that. We're getting the cat excited in that on Friday.
Yeah, let's do that. So, unless it's Friday the 1st.
I'll be around. What time? We can talk
Let's discuss that when we're off air.
I got you.
Unless you two gentlemen have got anything else to say regarding tonight's game.
3 points, won the group, and that's getting the group sealed up tonight. Really is going to help us out for our fixture list coming up, especially the Villa game is on the 9th, and that PSV game's on, I believe, that Wednesday, the 12th. So that'll allow us to I'd say focus, but and Brighton is in between there, the 17th. So now the December 12th game becomes a little less important, where we can focus on keeping our league form up on the 19th and the 17th versus Brighton and Villa. Tough games. So
tough weekend of fixtures for a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
The Manchester City Tottenham game is sort of jumping out at me. It sounds like it could be a very interesting one. Posh Bertie, have you got anything else to add for tonight?
A phenomenal win. Very good win for us. And we're through to the last 16 with one Champions League game to spare, which is excellent news. Bring on Champions League knockout football. Who will we get? We'll have to wait and see. There are some teams that we could potentially get that have already solidified their position. I think Napoli and Inter Milan were one of those two teams, I think. We'll have to wait and see what happens. One more comment here from AFC Always. The rumours I'm hearing that Arsenal will get £70 million to spend in January. That is nowhere near enough. At least 200 million, what is required for us to win the league. I understand your frustrations. Sadly, this isn't FIFA. But again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there, I think.
Yeah, man, that's FFP, and the 2023 numbers haven't come out, so I don't know when they come out, but who knows?
Arteta should have taken off key players tonight at halftime, ready for the Wolves game at the weekend. He took off Saka, Jesus, and Rice. So I think those
Tommy
are key players.
Who's been key.
Yeah.
So he hasn't got unlimited subs on this one. He could only take off a certain amount of people, and had we taken off, we've only get the 5 changes anyway. So there's only a certain amount of people we can do that with. And if we picked up an injury along the way, then we would have been messed up, wouldn't we? So
yeah,
that's just my thoughts on that. But this is us sort of wrapping up, I think, for this evening, because it is extremely late, and I need to be up early in the morning. I want to say my thanks to Posh Bertie for opening up for me as I was hobbling back to my lovely little flat. Let's go to Spencer first of all for the social medias, and I'll throw up the banner for you. Where can they find you, mate?
They can find me on Twitter at Arsenal9986. And that's where I do football, American football, and actually, shout out to the Clemson men's soccer team. So I was going to say men's soccer because the men's football team plays American football. They're playing Stanford tonight in the College Cup. I think they're in the round of 16. So they won the national title 2 years ago, trying to repeat that. So hopefully they pull through tonight. And also you can find me at Bronco and VA 9986 on the YouTube. I help out here at Gooner Gathering. You can find me on Gary's show, DWTT, on Mondays and sometimes on Saturdays. And I do make an appearance from time to time on Ryan's channel, Mr. Arsenal Podcast. So, and again, love helping Lee and Posh out at all times. And like I said, if you ever want to talk football offline, just shoot me a message, man. I'll talk with you. So
absolutely. And we appreciate you being with us as always, my friend. Posh Bertie, where can they find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Posh Bertie and Instagram at Bertie Wanless. You do not follow me in real life because that's a little bit creepy.
That's an excellent point. Very, very well made. And be nice on Twitter, everybody. After what me and Posh had to deal with last night. Yeah. It's a nice platform, that, isn't it? And before I go and give my out, I want to give Fran a shout out because I'm wearing Go Alonso hoodie. She's just released her Dennis Bergkamp portrait tonight. It went out at halftime on the game. So give it a look over on Go Alonso's page on YouTube. She's doing some fantastic artwork. She's doing lots of really interesting streams. So give her a bit of love over there. You can find me at Goonerly Meads on X. You can find all of us at Gooner Gathering. And until my birthday, we shall see you on Friday. Take care all. Have a nice couple of days and we'll see you soon.